Okay, greetings, YouTube. This is the Garage Autonomous, but this is an episode of Everyday Revolution. I'm here with our special guest, Elmciti. How you doing, Elm?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. I'm good. So today we're gonna you had reached out to me in the comments section of one of my videos, and you said, "Hey, I wanted to talk about interracial relationships," and it's definitely it's been a hot, I believe, a issue with the black community, with the black diaspora since for a very long time. And I think
hmm
that it to this day it's very much a hot topic, hot button topic. I've only covered it maybe once or twice in two videos of mine. So go ahead and tell me
hmm
what's on your mind.
I don't. I don't try to govern over anyone's genitals.
Hmm.
I don't tell people who to be with. I don't tell people who to fall in love with. I don't tell people who to have children by. Nothing like that.
Right.
But I really do hate when certain coons um get on any social media you can think of and babble on about how, oh, it's 2017, as if no one knows what year it is.
Exactly.
We should get you guys should get you a white girl, or you guys should get you an Asian girl, or black women, you should get you a white man, or whatever the case is,
Right.
whatever the case is, and they put it on a pedestal.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now,
I
me,
agree.
I feel as though, okay, man, I don't look at all these other different races as, uh, someone above me. When you make it seem like, we have to um, integrate with them, or get married or have children by them, you're putting them above you because
Yeah.
you believe that that's the thing to do. Number one. Number two, you put their physical features as a beauty standard.
Right.
And you think every mixed child is beautiful.
Hmm.
Now, I got a problem with that because you're teaching black people self-hate. You're basically saying that without any of these other people to intermix with, black people have average or ugly looking babies. Like, you have to go get you somebody outside of your race to have a beautiful baby, and I completely and totally, without a doubt, disagree with that.
Right.
That is programming that everyone else, in particular white people, beauty standards, or what they want to call beauty, is above and beyond black folk. You're not teaching black people how to love themselves, their physical features, set our own beauty standards that don't require um, European or any other race interference. This is why black people have low self-esteem. You not only have white people pushing it in the media, you have black people um, pushing it on social media and in real life. I have seen or heard people say the most outlandish, stupidest shit about, oh, mixed babies are the best because they have blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
Basically, you are teaching black children that they are worthless unless they have a non-black parent, or lighter skin, or curly to straight hair, or lighter eyes. Those are all features of all these other non-races. I mean, not non-races, non-black races, excuse me.
Right. Yeah, that's not.
And I just disagree with that. I don't hate biracial people. I don't hate people who swirl, because again, I'm not here to tell you what the hell to do. I don't want to. I just disagree with the mindset a lot of people have.
Right. Well, I am 100% on the same page with you on this because um, I'm forgetting the football player's name already. Maybe it's because I have a tendency of forgetting morons and idiots real quick. The names of idiots, but you know who I'm talking about. It was the
Yeah.
who the Miami, he was a Miami Dolphin, right? Uh,
Mhm.
right. He when he made the statement last week, week before last, I believe, where he was saying, black men need to get with, non-black women because non-black women. I mean, I'm not even going to repeat what he said. I don't want to give it any kind of dignity because it's bullshit. It's just complete disgusting. Um, I am 100% on the same page with you. You know that I definitely don't care with who people get with to a certain degree. What I have a problem with are their reasons why. If it's not about love, then it's complete bullshit. And I
Mhm.
think that in when you talk about interracial relationships in the hands of self-hating people of color, and really, quite frankly, self-hating white people. We'll get to them in a minute because when I clarify what I mean by self-hating white people, but when you put the issue of interracial relationships in the hand of self-hating people of color and black people in particular, it's really like, and no pun intended, but it's really like putting a machine gun in the hands of a chimpanzee. You are
Mhm.
basically they are trying to weaponize interracial relationships in order to attack black people.
Mhm.
And you can clearly see the men when they get on there. And includes what's his name, Tyrese. You can clearly see these men hate black women. They hate them. There's
Mhm.
there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Um,
Mhm.
there's no way of getting around it. They hate themselves and they hate black women. And if they hate black women, they hate
Absolutely.
themselves. I don't care how Tyrese might think he himself is good looking, or he'll lie to us all and say he likes himself and he likes himself as a black man. No, he doesn't. He hates his mother. He
Mhm.
hates If he hates his mother, if he hates black women, he hates his mother. If he hates his black women, he hates himself. And I can guarantee
Mhm.
you that if it wasn't for the fact that Hollywood and the entertainment industry didn't sort of exoticize certain black men when they look a certain kind of way. I mean, it's great on one end that we do see lots of dark skinned black men, but the problem that I have, in movies and TVs, but the problem that I have with that is that we don't do the same thing for black women, dark skinned black women.
Mhm.
We do not give them the same standard of handsomeness or beauty, if you will, in Hollywood. They're always paired up
Mhm.
with lighter complected women, and of course I don't have anything against them as well, but my problem is that it's this thing where they're trying to make it seem like the only kind of femininity in the world that it can exist out of the black diaspora is if they are closer looking to European features or they are light skinned women, and I think that's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
I saw
Yeah.
that a lot in I mean, that's one of the things that I made a video about because I love the actress who plays Misty Knight in the Luke Cage TV show. I think she's, a beautiful woman. I think she's a great actress. But the thing is that I don't think it's an accident when in the comic books, Misty Knight is not her complexion at all. Misty Knight is a dark skinned black woman. So
Mhm.
come on. And there's lots of beautiful dark skinned black women out there in the world. There's no way that you could not have cast someone to play Misty Knight just to be accurate, be accurate and also make a statement, you know.
Mhm.
But the thing is that let's just but what I'm saying here is that this man, one, yeah, I don't have a problem, and I do have a problem when people do get together interracially for all the wrong reasons. And now I'm going to get over to what do I mean by self-hating white people? I mean white people who are basically running away from something, i.e., if they're overweight or they just never really had a lot of luck with the opposite sex or whatever, and they have this tendency of almost, and to be honest with you, it's almost really condescending. They have this thing like, hell, I can't get with my own people, so I might as well settle. And they, you know what I'm saying? And they
Mhm.
go to, and I don't like the thing when, I don't care what color you are. I mean, what race you are, ethnicity, or nationality. I hate when you exoticize others of the opposite. So like, it is gross to see so many white dudes out there just straight up go nuts over Asian women. And it's like, you're not going nuts over her because she's hot or she's just beautiful. You know good and damn well you tripping out on her simply because she's Asian. And come on.
Exactly. That's where yellow, excuse not to cut you off, but that's where like yellow fever or words like jungle fever, which I find that very offensive. That's
Yeah.
where it came from. You're
Yeah.
fetishizing them. You and then most of the time, either or race gets with one that's at the bottom of the barrel of society.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen the gamut, of different couples. I've seen the two crackheads on the bus, and they're, an interracial couple. I've seen, CEOs and stuff. I mean, but the thing is that in between there, it's always like people with some kind of issue, and they're like they get together as if they need to settle for one another. It's really disgusting. But
Hmm.
the thing is that I would never say that that's the majority of interracial relationships. Of course, I'm not. I would never say that. But the thing is that if it ain't about the person, then it like I said, it's bullshit. Either way, it's all bullshit. I mean, even if and yeah, I think that when people get on here and they start in social media, because let's face it, man, social media is the biggest bullhorn in existence. I mean,
Hmm.
it you say one thing, everyone hears it, whether you're famous or not. And the thing is that this idiot football player got up here and said what he said, and he just took a huge shit all over all black women. And my thing is like, dude, first of all, and the thing is that he's not, I don't even think he's convinced of what he really believes. I think that he just wanted to attack black women because obviously, even if he's a football player, he must have. I think he has problems picking up black women. I think that they reject him. They probably reject because he's really not himself the most handsomest man in the world. And quite frankly, if there are other women who are non-black women who are stepping to him, they're only doing it because he's a football player and he's making money. Um, because he just seems like a shallow human being, and he doesn't look like he could put two sentences together. I mean, I've read the statement that he wrote. He sounds like an idiot. So it's not like he would ever attract anyone of the opposite race that they actually like him for who he is or that he's a smart man. It's obvious because he's a football player. So it's like, so that's my only problem with interracial relationships is that if they're not real and if they're just about exoticizing other people or you're trying to run away from some or your own group, because you're either rejected by them or you were abused by them. I mean, I've always felt my biggest theory about Tommy Sotomayor is that the guy was at some point in his earlier life, I have to say I believe, I'm not I'm not going to state this as fact because I don't want no sensitive people flagging this video, but I believe that obviously whatever he internalized whatever kind of abuse that he may have suffered at the hands of a black person when he was a kid, maybe, or maybe when he's a teenager. I mean, he talks that way. So does Raven Masterson. They both talk like they done had some real problems in the black community, and then they narrow it down to the other race is better. But what's so ironic about Tommy is he ain't with nobody from another race. I don't really consider the Atlanta thing real. I thought that was all staged, to be honest with you. But he hasn't been with anyone else outside of black people since then. I don't believe he is, and I don't believe he has, because I don't think any woman of any other race with some common sense. I mean, I think they see him coming, they just get the hell away because they just know how they can see the dysfunction from this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I will say though that but I want to talk about something else. I mean, not talk about something else. I want to talk about something about this vein. I want to make clear because most people think that those who are okay with interracial relationships at the same time have a problem with black self-love and black people getting only wanting to get with other black people. I don't have a problem with people of that stance either. Uh, they don't make me feel uncomfortable in any way. I'm fine with them having that stance. As a matter of fact, I kind of see most pro-black people, if they're not stupid, I see most of them as keepers of the flame anyway. So I don't have a problem with that. I believe in black self-love. I do believe, however, in black that black love, black self-love, or whatever you want to call it. It comes in different contexts because while you may not be a black person who's with another black person, it doesn't mean that you need to hate your own people. As a matter of fact, it means, if anything, there are plenty of us out there who want to defend the black community, who have a very strong attachment to the black community, has no reason to leave the black community, has no reason to abandon the black community, and most certainly has no reason to uh, badmouth and attack the black community. So, I mean, I just want to say that self-love, it comes in all kinds of contexts. It's not just in the context of who you're mating with and all of that. And another thing that bugs me is the double standard. I really hate when black men think that it's okay to be able to be with whoever the fuck you want to be with, but then flip the fuck out if a black woman decides to be with a non-black man. I never understood that
Absolutely.
that
Mhm.
hypocrisy. It's like we may be black together, we may be in a struggle together, but we don't own each other. And that's just dumb to trip out on black women when they themselves when they decide to go like, hey, look, I get it. There's times when I get it when you live, like, say you're a young woman, you're a young black woman, you're single, you might be educated, you may have made yourself poor to go to school, but yet you're surrounded by dudes who you can't carry on a conversation with. Like, you can identify with them, but let's say you just can't. You want somebody who's going to be like, hey, let's try to travel, let's do something together, whatever might be your interest. It doesn't even have to be that, but whatever your interest might be, you want somebody who's at least at your level of wanting that too. And you literally have dated the gamut of whoever's around you, and you realize, holy shit, no one around me is who I can identify with. And maybe just by some chance, you say, look, I'm just going to widen my options here and see who else I can date. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because black men certainly don't have that problem. If they say, like, look, this girl's not like what I like, and or she's not into this, and I I get it, man. So I just think it's really a double standard to be tripping out, and I mean, I've actually seen dudes in interracial relationships got the nerve to fix their face when they pass by an interracial couple and it's a black woman, but she's with a white man or a Mexican man or what have you. It's like you, you're kidding me, right? Like, for real? This is so fucking retarded. But I do feel like, and I'm gonna say the P word here, I do feel like that attitude is rooted in patriarchy because any kind of form of nationalism, or this idea that the women must belong to us, it comes from patriarchy. It really does. And I just think that yeah, I just think it's retarded. Like, and I think that while I don't agree, again, I don't agree with things about Crystal and Karazin and the things she says, I have to admit that the majority of the hate that she gets really does boil down to the simple fact that she married a white man. And had she have been married to a black man, but was still talking some of the things that she will say, and definitely has said, like, that's on the level of Tommy Sotomayor at times, I think that people just really wouldn't flip out on her so much. And so I don't know. Like I said, I'm not down with that double standard. It really pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm really not down with it either. That self entitlement black men seem to really have is above and beyond ridiculous to me
Uh-huh.
because black men, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them feel, like self entitled. They feel that they're a correct, checked group when they themselves are not checked. They're not a correct group. They want to point fingers at black women constantly when they need to be pointing the fingers at themselves. You need to
Right.
take responsibilities for yourselves. Once you do that, you'll start getting a lot more respect from black women.
Yeah.
Um, Getting on YouTube and crying about, oh, our women is this, they're that, they don't want to listen to us, they don't respect us, they don't care about us, and all this other shit. Just because one, you have terrible luck with getting a black woman, or two, you're just a fucking piece of shit yourself. You need to get something about you in order or in check. And three, you want black women or any woman to just simply bow down to you and treat you like some king, but you're not that. You're not worth any of that. Why would any woman want to be led by a man who doesn't know how to lead, period? Who
Right.
doesn't know how to be a man in the first place? So it's a lot of things that I think black men need to get together. I don't partake in the bashing or MGTOW versus big Tao and all this other nonsense. I don't take part in that. If you got you a non-black man or woman, that's fine. I would damn sure go. So I would be living my life. I would be happy. I wouldn't constantly make videos about how black men or black women ain't this and that and the third.
Right.
Um, and I also feel if you're going to um, be down for your people, then your non-black partner should be too. I don't think
Yeah.
that you should be quote unquote pro black, but you don't live in the black community, you don't invest in the black community, you don't help to protect the black community, and neither does your non-black partner. You just got a non-black partner and said fuck black people, fuck any and everything that got anything to do with black people. That I don't respect. And
Yeah.
being in a interracial relationship doesn't stop racism. It doesn't stop
Right.
white supremacy, not even by a long shot. So I just don't praise that. I just think that that's a cop out, and I think it's a real cowardice way if you aren't doing anything productive for and with black people.
I agree. One of the problems that I have with I'm glad you brought that part up because that's another thing. If you can't get with a non I don't agree with getting with a non-black person at all who has zero understanding of what
Mm-hmm.
black people go through. If they're not enraged when somebody is murdered by the police, if they are not enraged by those kinds of things, and really this all comes down to that, really, it all comes down to that first motherfucking question. I mean, after y'all say hello, hi, uh, you agree with each other that your breath don't stink and y'all can they go on a date. The conversation of politics has got to happen, in my opinion. If it don't, if you gonna bust out here in this, I don't really want to talk about politics. Politics is not my thing. And you're like, oh, okay. And then y'all get together, and then 5 years later, excuse me, 5 years later, somebody's blown away by the cops. And then suddenly they start busting out with, well, we really don't know the whole story. We don't need to know the whole story. Did you not see the person sitting in the car in a seatbelt with no gun in their hand and they get their damn gut blown out by a
Exactly.
cop? Like you did not see
Especially if
that?
that cop is of the same race as the person you're dating.
Exactly. And
Uh,
if that
I,
conversation and if
there should be
there's
no excuses.
right. And so if you're gonna sit there and you want to sit there and rationalize something that we just saw, and if you don't want to own up to the whole long history of what the black community has gone through with the police, then we got nothing to talk about. And
Mm-hmm.
that and so that yeah, I do have a problem with that. And I do have a problem with Also, you swallowing your, if you do know and understand, you do have a level of political consciousness, but then you try to become something else or try to play it down just to be with somebody else. Like, no, no, no. Like, no, no. I don't agree with that either at all. Now,
Mhm.
it was one thing you just said something that I really liked. It was, I think you were talking about how, oh shit, damn it, I just heard it was like real quick, and then I wanted to expound on it, but now I can't remember what it was. I think it was, well, right, right. When you decided you just want to leave and get out, like, I, I don't really care too much. Like, you don't have to live in the black community, but if you're not, yeah, but if you're not doing something like thinking of, like, if you're not doing, it could be anything, man. It could be even signing up this change.org petition, for like against the all of these dudes on YouTube attacking black women. Like, if you're not doing something for the community and you just think you're gonna ride off to paradise and be gone, my feeling is go ahead and do that, but keep your fucking mouth shut about the black community. Like, don't be making videos, don't be writing books, don't be like out there saying stuff because you don't need to. And I always feel like a lot of these dudes, if they really were happy dating others, people who are not black, which I don't think they do anyway. But if they were doing that, I don't really think they'd be attacking the black community so much. I really feel like, okay, if you really are
Absolutely.
like some self-hating black person, you're like, I don't want to have anything to do with these people. 9 times out of 10, those people will pretty much go in the world that they want to be in, and then they shut the hell up. They don't have anything else to say. But see, the people who do, or the people who say they're doing it, but they really don't do it, go like get with other people. Those who do, and they're constantly attacking the black community, I feel like there's something going on psychologically. Like, they have some unfinished business, but it's unfinished business that they'll never be able to settle, because you can't settle the people who've done whatever the fuck it was that they did to you, with over 1 billion black people. Like, that's a war that's never going to end. So you might as well just take your ass to therapy already and get yourself fixed and take some goddamn medication. Like, I'm just sick and tired of these. Like, a lot of these people are just working out some weird ass psychological trauma, and they're doing it in the worst way ever, and that's of course through social media, because they're never going to get cured. They're never going to get better. No, no,
Yeah,
I know some people don't believe in psychologists. I strongly believe in psychotherapy and psychologists,
yeah.
and even the damn drugs too. Like, you need to get over, you're gonna need to get yourself fixed, but goddamn social media is not going to fix your psychological motherfucking problems with whatever it is you got going with the black community. And it's so painfully obvious. Like, man, we can go on a whole damn list, both the WGTOW as well as these black women haters, and we can just go down a list, and we know we could probably agree on all the people who really just need to get their asses into therapy. Although I would not suggest that when it comes to obsidian. I can think of a different kind of therapy, in, one that would include 45 grain solution to the back of his damn head. Anyway, but he's just like, I mean, he forget him though. But I would suggest these other guys get therapy, and that's another thing. How do these dudes fix their face to constantly sit and talk about black women ain't shit? One dude I found out, and I'm not going to say his name because I would rather talk about who he is in real life rather than say his name, his YouTube name. This dude works in Best Buy. This guy is on here constantly talking shit. And I'm not putting down people who work in Best Buy. You know I'm not. But I'm just saying, how do you constantly talk about how fucked up, low class, black women are? They're this, they're that, and the other. And dude, you work in Best Buy and you can't speak. You talk like a black Elmer Fudd. This dude, I'll tell you his name offline. This dude says, I mean, he can't say the R. He can't say any words that begin with the letter R. Willie, uh, the black women are really fucked up. I'm like, dude, you speak like fucking Elmer Fudd. How the fuck are you gonna talk about how fucked up black women are? I mean, I dox this dude's face. I know what he looks like. It's ridiculous. He can't talk about nobody. I'm like, man, what are you doing? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the first thing y'all got to do when y'all like hear these dudes, instead of listening to their videos and getting mad, just take their names down, learn some basic doxing skills, and when you find out who these dudes are, believe me, you won't feel no kind of way about them, man. You'll just ignore them, and you'll be like, man, like you are every bit of mediocrity that anybody could imagine, and here you are talking bad about black women, like for real. Like, and they all talk like they're literally like that was the thing you talked. That was the thing you said. They're all out here like feeling like they're totally unchecked. They're in a position of not being checked, and like they're living, they're living and working from some position of power, and it never happened. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I see
Mm-hmm.
Monkey Handlebars, who's probably really obsidian, is here. Doxing is fine until you become the victim. Well, I never will, Monkey Handlebars. Um, but I will tell you this. Bye bye, Monkey. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I banned you, Monkey, because you you can't really have a conversation. That's why I blocked you. It's okay if you actually came here and actually had something to say, but you've had many chances when I was doing live shows on my channel and on the past when we had food for thought. And until you know how to behave, that's the only way you'll ever be able to talk in this chat room. Now, you tried to say, now here he goes. He roasted me in Blog Talk. No, Obsidian did not roast me in Blog Talk. Obsidian does the one thing he knows how to do, overtalk people, and he calls that debating. Sorry, nobody even remembers that show, Monkey Handlebars. No one. All right. That was back in December. I haven't even brought that up in months. You guys are still talking about it. You want to know why? Because you'll take any little L and make that into a W and call that a win. No, no, no. Anyway, back to some grown folks conversation. So, what was all right? What were we talking about? We were talking about. So that's what I'm saying, man. How do you sit from a position of what you think is a position of power and or a place where you can't, are unchecked and you can't be checked, and you are really in a position of complete mediocrity? Like, I don't understand how you think you can do that. And we all know, like somebody like Tommy Sotomayor, when he loses all these channels and he's ultimately going to be a memory on YouTube, and he will be. What do
Well, I
like
can only hope that he'll be a memory. I
uh
pray he's only going to be a memory soon to
he will
come.
be. I'll tell you the reason why. PewDiePie, have you ever heard of him? He's a huge YouTuber, and his empire was snatched from him. And the thing about this guy is that only reason why some people might bring him up because it just happened recently. But he's going to be a memory. He's going to be a distant memory in a month. And I can tell you right now, as much as Tommy, it seemed like Tommy set something off and he created this whole culture. No, these dudes have been on here for a very long time. He's the only one that applied a certain level of formula to it to make money off of it, and that's what made it so attractive. That's the reason why there's so many Tommy wannabes is because money was involved. If money wasn't involved, I don't think we really would be dealing with too many of these guys. I really don't. But anyway, when he becomes a memory, you talk about somebody who will not be able to go anywhere. He can't. He doesn't have any skills. He's not. He thinks he's going to be able to get into radio or television, that that window has passed. He never got out of YouTube. He's never going to get out of YouTube. I'm sorry. He's never gotten out of YouTube, and he never will. And now that some of the tide is turning, with YouTube wanting to uh, clean up their act a little bit because they've lost so many advertisers now, or a lot of companies are wanting to pull their advertising out of YouTube because of, and granted, other, not just because of these guys, mainly because of other extremist channels. But the point is that these dudes are part of it. Their language is part of it. And now YouTube is reacting. They're just going back and they're just reacting and they're doing what they can. So, all I'm saying here is that, when he becomes a dismember, he's not going to have anywhere to go. He's not going to be able to do anything. He's pretty much, so many of these dudes that have wanted to be like Tommy. He he is some of these dudes that wanted to be like Tommy actually came from the same place of mediocrity. Like they weren't, they didn't have jobs. They weren't like doing anything productive in the community. He is what he is, man. He was a hustler before then. He didn't. I mean, he wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? And now he had his little YouTube. Okay, I see the Dark Prince of the Rose Sector is here. Chris. What's up, Chris? Huh? Yeah, that's what I call him. I call him the Dark Prince of the Rose Sector.
He calls me Satan. So
Yeah, why does he? I've noticed that lately. I thought you were his girl. Like, why are you Satan?
I don't know. You gotta ask him that.
I'm gonna give him and say what's up. You know what? I'm here to hear the convo. Okay. Well, like we started a little early, but she earned that title. How did she earn that title, Chris? I'm pretty sure he's about to let us know. But the one thing that I gotta say though is, like, okay, he said go to any video of mine and read her comments. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to go back and look at. You must have left him some mean comments then, huh? Elmciti.
No, we're not beefing or anything, but
Yeah, I know,
yeah.
I know. No, man. I mean, the reason why I was inspired to even have you the first time when I had you on my channel, when I was able to do live, stuff was when he was when uh because of the interview that you did on Chris's channel. I thought it was a really good conversation, and he did a really good conversation. Um, but you know what? We got like still we got like another 20 minutes or so. He I want to know if, let's see. I can do this real quick. Okay, I can't. Shoot. Chris, do you want the link? Because I can't believe I typed here and not here, but must be Satan City. Satan City. I like that name, Satan City. But anyway, but like I was saying though, these dudes, like Tommy, ain't gonna be able to go anywhere after all of this. But my thing is that you can't make a whole bunch of judgments, like, and black people, really all black people do it. I get that part. We have a tendency of judging each other, and it's like one of us is really not doing, and the person doing all the judgments really not doing all that great themselves. I never understood that shit at all. Uh, but yeah. So like I said before, I don't really care about uh, what people do, but you can't the self hate bullshit and thinking that non black people are somehow better, uh, and trying to promote that shit is fucked up. I'm not down with that at all. And quite frankly, I feel like if you're a person, a non-black person, you get with people like that, you should run the other direction because that person ain't gonna have nothing. That person don't want you. That person could care less about you. You want to be want or liked simply because they think that you're better than they are because of the color of your skin. That's kind of disgusting. And if you're
It
good
is
with that,
disgusting. I think it's racism. I think that's a racist person. You
yeah.
want a black stooge to lick your feet in your asshole,
Mhm.
and just, I mean, just
Yeah.
over you. I mean, like you a piece of gold or something, and putting you above them. Um, but then these same white people or the non-black people that date or marry or have children by those types of black people would always say it's not about race or color or love has no color. But why
Hmm.
would you get with someone that basically worships you because you're not them?
Exactly. Exactly. And then how can you and again, well, we know how because it's about racism. And then you got people who will sit there and be cool with just sitting there and constantly hearing them talk bad about their own people. And if you are good with that, then yeah, I mean, you're just comfortable seeing a black person doing it. That's what I'm saying. The majority of like the audience of Tommy Sotomayor and all those white people, man, those are all a bunch of racists. They are glad about being they are glad that he's around because he makes them feel comfortable in their racism. And now you're talking about somebody who's actually married to somebody who's like that. And I mean, and then they want to sit in on videos and shit and sit next to the black person, and while that black person's sitting there going off on black people and attacking them and all this shit, and these motherfuckers are sitting there just la da da. Oh, it's not about race. If it's not about race, how can you sit there and listen to your person of color that you're married to talk shit about their people? You should be disgusted with that. You should be saying, "Man, I am not down with this. I'm out of here. Fuck that. I don't want people thinking I'm down with you on that shit." You know what I'm saying? You on your
Yep.
own. I mean, whatever. I can't. I can't. So, because we started earlier, I'm probably gonna. I don't know. I'm probably gonna say we'll give us another 10, 15 minutes. So we talked about the football player. Now, what about there was a I'm forgetting his fucking name already because this motherfucker was irrelevant for the last. I mean, he was relevant back in the '90s when I was young, and now I'm old. This motherfucker is like talking shit. Who was the rapper back in was like December or November? Uh,
Uh,
telling
hmm?
telling black folks, telling black men, sorry, get with them a lat, get with a Latina, get with get why the Latino women are gonna be super feminine and they all take care of themselves really good and black women don't. First of all, this is another good example of somebody who's so blinded in their hatred of themselves and blinded in the hatred of the women of their
You mean
community.
Trick Daddy, the name of the rapper?
Yeah, Trick Daddy. That
Okay.
he didn't even bother to do research. Obesity is like ridiculously high in the Latino communities.
Look at
Um,
Tina Thrower.
yeah, look at her. The reason why a lot of them, and it's not even part. There's so many Latinos out there who reject trying to be like the whole machismo thing and trying to please their men. There's been two generations of them trying to fight that. So, like I said, had he have done his research, he'd know there's lots of Latina feminists out there, or even non-Latina feminists, but I mean Latina non-feminists who just are tired of that, getting dolled up and trying to be super feminine, keeping in the house clean and all this other shit. And in return, they get abuse or they don't get shit at all. I mean, if you do your research, you'll find that that community's issues are pretty much parallel to black folks almost. We may not have the same history, but in terms of modern day, the problems are almost the same. And for them to sit there and talk about all this shit like they're over there perfect and everything is complete bullshit. And also, you got to look at the cities and states in some parts of the United States. Some Latinos ain't having that shit. I mean, look at what George Lopez said. They ain't having that shit about trying to get with no black people and stuff. You honestly think that if you follow this asshole's advice, it's going to be that easy for you to walk up in the barrio and think you could pick up some women? Please, like I don't, I don't even know what these dudes are on, man. They're so fucking delusional, but their delusional is just
That's why I
rooted in their
don't buy
self hate.
that black and brown bullshit either.
Wait, what now?
I said that's one of the reasons, or maybe the whole reason, why I don't buy that black and brown power bull crap either.
Hmm.
It's complete bullshit.
Well,
Latinos do not think of themselves to be aligned or should be aligned with black folk. They don't consider themselves black. They too have extreme self-hate issues,
they
and
do.
they too join in on the oppression of black folk. So
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more complex than that, though. I don't. I mean, yeah, I think on the most part, there's been a major disconnect over the years, and I think that a lot of it is about competing with. Uh, I hate, people of color just had this thing where they wanted to compete, where they compete with each other for getting the laurels from white people, really. And I think Latinos feel like they are ahead of that curve in some way, and they've been rejecting this whole idea of anything of alliances and just going full out enemy. And it's been like that. You're right. I mean, it has been that way for a number of years, but it really wasn't like that back before I was young. I mean, back before I was born. There was a strong alliance depending on what you're looking at. But the ones who really piss me off with their blackness and shit like that are actually the Latinos that actually do come from a black heritage, like Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Brazilians. Like the fucking self hate there is just crazy, and just because of their phenotype is just one hair over, less than curly, less than light. I'm sorry, less than dark. Then they want to claim to be something else. Like you're not Pocahontas. You're not. So don't even try to go there. And you most certainly aren't one of the Spaniards that came out here. You know good and well your grandmother was black. I can guarantee you, if I came over to your house, knocked you off, knocked you in the head, knocked your ass out, and grabbed your family album, we're gonna know different. But yeah, they want to talk that shit. Those are the ones who actually bother me more than say Latinos from Central America or parts of Mexico, because the the Latinos that are actually from places where the slaves were actually brought there and shit, uh, and basically the majority of people in their family members are all of African descent. Those motherfuckers piss me off the most. Um, but they all piss me off. I mean, I look, but the thing is that it's not completely all down the on down the line like that. I know, of course, I know there are plenty of Mexican people in my life who don't think that way at all about black people and understand black people's history and stuff. But again, those are some individuals. The majority of them are also educated. The majority of them are also political. So it's like they are a minority compared to the majority that
the
feel
vast of fuck
that, yeah,
boys and girls.
yeah, yeah. So so me pointing that out, I just wanted to bring that out. But it's true that those group of people that I know are a very small minority. Um, but it is. I think that what's going on YouTube and the shit that's going on in mass media with whenever we get some of these morons out here like the football player, man, they just are they are just going. We got it. The way to turn the tide on these people is that we've got to make sure we outmaneuver their bullshit. Like when this dude went out here and said the shit that he said, it was good that he got slammed. It was good that people came back at his ass in Twitter the way they did. Because Black Twitter is not like Black YouTube. Black Twitter is straight up political. They don't fuck around. But unfortunately, they shut his ass down like in Twitter. But you saw what happened with Black YouTube. People like O'Shea Dude Jackson and them came out caping for him and was actually like defending him. And that we don't get that kind of breakdown in YouTube like you get on Twitter. So anyway, this was a great conversation. I think that I it's good that we're definitely on the same page with a lot of this stuff. I definitely agree with that. On one end, I definitely believe in Black self-love. I don't think that everybody who gets who are in interracial relationships are coons. You don't have to be. And those who are, you need to just be happy with who you're with and just shut the fuck up. Don't attack the Black community. And just shut up, And I think the rest of rest of these other people out here who aren't with other people, but you keep making non-Black people the best in your mind, take your ass to therapy, close your channel down, close your blog talk down, save up your money, get a better job, and go and get some therapy. And of course, the most important thing, shut the fuck up and don't talk. So that's all I got to say about all of that. I think that it just needs to stop, man. The cooning needs to stop. The cooning just needs to stop. And I think that it's good that we take more action. And I think that it's good that we take more action on these people when we can. If we don't like what they say, it's one thing. But I think that if they are violating the YouTube, hey man, look, I got flagged, and I'm not gonna lie. I know why. Let me put it this way: when I got flagged, and most likely by somebody like Monkey Bars, if he ain't GTFO simp like who I think he might be, he's somebody else. But I got flagged, and look, the thing is, they got me on real shit that YouTube said. You can't do. I mean, I hate on them because I knew that the reality was they didn't like what I said. But my point here is that, of course, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And the thing is that these dudes on the other end, they have not been fighting clean. Now they want to play innocent. Well, what we say? We just telling the truth. Calling with Black women BT1000s and hair hat hooligans. That's not telling the truth. That's not freedom of speech, man. Yeah. You are denigrating an entire gender group of people is what you're doing. And that's another thing. They're going to try to say, well, it's not defamation if I'm Black. I want to make something clear because I'm going to use history when it comes to other groups and other races to make my point. The Anti-Defamation League, right? You know who they are. They basically are. They're a Jewish organization. Actually, they got other races working in that group, but they're a Jewish organization for the most part, and they go after anybody and everybody who says stuff against Jewish people. Well, guess what? Anti-Defamation League has probably gone after more Jewish people than they've gone after non-Jewish people and kept them in check. Why would they do that? I tell you why. Because they understand self-hatred amongst their group too. And the thing is that, so it's defamation no matter what. If you're a Black man and you think you can get on here and make millions of videos bashing Black women, it's defamation. Okay? So therefore, if an anti-defamation group comes up for Black women, or an anti-Black women defamation group comes up, they have every right to come after you. Oh, I see Big J is here. What's up, Big J? Big J says, Big J is here. He says, "What about Ebony Jet bashing males?" I'll wait. Okay, Big J. First of all, Ebony, please point out to me where Ebony has bashed black males. I read the Jew group only police Jews that they identify as anti-Israel. That's okay, Chris. That's true. I have seen them do that, but I have seen them go after. They went after Andrew Dice Clay back when Andrew Dice Clay had a career. I definitely remember that. He was not. And then he was actually. I read that in an article. Summer 1948. What's he talking about? Okay. But Big J, when you see that's another thing. Y'all keep talking about some of these. I know the difference between bashing black men and articles that simply is saying we're tired of black men bashing black women. So in other words, that's not bashing black men when you point out Ebony last month. What did Ebony? Okay, I'll look it up, Big J. But what did Ebony post or what did they publish last month? All right, I'm gonna wait for him to type and let me know. Did you read the ebony.com article Elmciti about Tommy Sotomayor yet?
No, I have not.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nothing it's nothing that we don't
Nothing
already know.
important.
It's nothing that we don't already know, but it's they're getting in, they're weighing in on his two channels that are taken down. I mean, really, so far the only thing that's happened, if I'm not mistaken, is that it's just been two channels so far, right? It hasn't been all his other 18 that he keeps putting up every other 5 minutes. So this whole thing with okay, he says the editorial about dating. All right, I'll be fair, Big J. I'm gonna look up that editorial. I did not read that, but I'll look it up I mean, hell, I'll be more than happy to publicly say, okay, I feel like that article bashed black males, but sometimes y'all be saying somebody's bashing black men, and then when I go and look at the video, it's basically about okay, it's not about bash. They're not bashing black men. They're just okay. Oh, Big J. Okay, I see what you're talking about. You're talking about the article. I didn't know that was in Ebony. I thought it was in something else. But you're talking about the article where the writer was saying that if you don't, if making basically they're saying, I think they were saying that black women should be able to have the choice to date men who aren't struggling all the time or who aren't financially struggling.
Hmm.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that, matter of fact, the article even went out of its way. It was a sneak diss. Okay, now you moving the goalpost back a little bit, Big J. Now you want to say that it was a sneak diss. I did read that article, Big J, and I didn't think it was bashing at all. Matter of fact, they went out of their
Oh,
way to make it clear. They went out of their way to make it clear. Look, man, not everybody's rich. People are struggling. We get that part. But all they're just saying is why not offer that to give out the signal basically that black women should have to be feeling guilted into dating who just in feeling like they gotta date a broke dude or else they're a
um,
traitor to the race or some bullshit. Like, come on.
yeah, I want to say something, man.
Go ahead.
See, black men read something like that, they get emotional and they want to hurry up and just start going off without
Yeah.
really see. Because I one thing I don't like about it is I don't think men should get emotional at all. If they're supposed to be the voice of logic and reason, then they should all automatically be ready to let their emotions spew out all over the place without thinking about what they read or what was said in a video or in a magazine or something like that.
Hmm.
And because from what you said, when they said black women should have the choice to not date men who are financially struggling, that's not bashing black men. And I think that it's sad that black men want to make black women feel that way, make them feel guilty or shame because women want men who are financially stable. You don't have to be rich or anything like that, but it's okay to want a man that's financially stable. No other race calls their women gold diggers for wanting a man who simply who needs to handle his responsibilities better, or or like I said, just financially stable. In the media it's pushed that black women don't have any options and should get with bottom of the barrel type dudes. And so for black men to get mad that a black woman wants a man financially stable, I think that again, that's a real fucked up, retarded mentality that they need to check themselves on.
um, you pointed out something really good about the gold digger part, because when you talk about other people and you talk about examples of gold diggers, they're not they're not even in the world of talking to dudes who don't who are even dudes who are financially stable. And what does financially stable mean? It doesn't mean you're rich. You That was another
Yeah.
good point that you made. It doesn't mean that. And but when you talk about gold diggers, they don't even look at dudes, they don't even talk to dudes who are financially stable. Okay. They're in a different world, altogether. So you can't call somebody who says, I want a guy who I know is going to be not struggling all the time and borrow money from me, and is going to be a problem anymore. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Nobody's saying, and I don't understand why they took that as a put down. I mean, there was a time when I didn't have shit. I mean, I had a job, but I mean, I wasn't making what I'm making now. I wasn't living the way I'm living now. But the thing is that nobody's saying that somebody like me when I was younger should be rejected or put down or stepped over. But at the same time, all we're saying is that women have the right to have options. Men can have options all the time. If we don't want to talk to some
Mhm.
woman and she's back there working in Taco Bell, or she's probably never had a job before, we're not going to do
Or
that.
she's a
And
stripper
nobody
or something
says,
like that.
and what? Wait,
I
what?
said, or she's a stripper or something
Oh,
like
she's a
that.
stripper. Like, right. I mean, we simply don't deal with those women. We don't date with them. We don't date them at any given time. And nobody's making articles telling us, making us feel bad if we don't do it. Nobody's forcing us to do anything. It's just like it's forcing us. So why does it have to be the other way around? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't, and you're right. There's a huge emotional factor to that, because I read that same article, and not at one point did I get uh emotional. As a matter of fact, as a father, I actually agreed with a lot of what I was reading. A father of two daughters, I agreed with a lot with what I was reading. I've seen way too many sisters. I not even just sisters. I've seen way women of all colors or whatever. But I've seen way too many sisters out there who've been put through some major shit, got their credit all bad, fucked up everything behind boyfriends who just wasn't handling their business. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just the truth, man. I mean, I've seen women who, granted, they had no credit. They went from no credit to bad credit because they put things in their names that the boyfriends for their boyfriends that couldn't do nothing, couldn't put nothing in his name anymore because he done fucked up his shit, and now
Mhm.
she's in debt.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then behind a relationship that wasn't even a marriage or nothing that was committed. And guess what? Look what happens with regular old relationships. You break up, things, you move on and stuff. But now you moved on from somebody who fucked up your credit. So, I can kind of
Mhm.
understand. I understand that article. I'm sorry, I didn't think that article was bashing anybody. Not in any way, shape, or form. Nobody's putting anybody down because you might, you might be a convenience store clerk, or you, or you're a security guard, or you work at Chipotle. Nobody's putting you down for that. You know who we're talking about. We're talking about dudes who don't even do that, who ain't even working. Like they're just not, man. And yet they feel like they got access. They should have access to the cream of the crop of women, and they feel like that they could go and dudes like that will drag you down. It's just how it is. And no, I don't think that as a man you should get with somebody who in the opposite situation. No, they can fuck you up. Some women out there can fuck your shit up too. Okay, I mean,
Yep.
we've heard it before. Dudes that dated, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna use your example. Dudes who dated strippers and like maybe after the first month or some bullshit, it's like, oh, I
Hmm.
got a problem. My 6-year-old has to get a operation. He needs a backiotomy. And dude's like, okay, and he's like shelling out money. And next thing you know, it wasn't even that. She's coming in here. She done went from a C cup to a double D, and you sit there going, "Oh, that's what I paid for." And next thing you know, 2 months later, y'all done broke up. Like, come on, man. Like, I know that that happens, but it's like that's all that that article was warning about. And it, like I said, it went out of its way more than a couple of times to say, "Look, we know this is not about brothers out there with just regular jobs. This is about dudes who and it's about just really stuff telling women they have options. So okay, Chris says, I don't begrudge black women for having standards, but black women don't want black men to have any for them. Black men have a checklist, black women will kick and scream. Black women have a checklist and we accept and compete. Now, I don't
Yeah, no,
know
I disagree
about.
with that.
Wait, what'd you say?
I disagree with that.
Yeah, black men has a checklist. Black women will kick and scream. It depends on how they deliver that checklist, though, Chris. I've seen dudes say, "Well, I would rather not date an overweight woman." Right? All right, I'm not offended by that. Everybody has their preferences. But when you make a whole 20-minute to 2 hour video where all you hear is fat bitch this, fat bitch that, that's not no you're no longer expressing a preference or a standard. You're basically attacking people because of their weight. And how then you then want to turn around and say, you need to be skinny to get with me. How about I would prefer a skinny person and I'm gonna go out and look for one. End of story. But so I don't know about that, man. I don't think it's as simple as that, Chris. It's not just about us having
I don't think so
checklists.
either because you got black men who say they don't date overweight black women, but they themselves are overweight. You got black men who
That's very
say
common. Yeah.
you got black men to say, oh, they don't date dark skinned black women, but they themselves are dark skinned. You got
Yeah.
black men that say black women have to be educated, get masters or PhDs, but he himself never graduated high school. I mean, you can't make all these demands and you don't meet them yourself.
I agree. And I do know that there's a couple of women out there who also don't make those standards either. And they
Yeah,
have those demands.
absolutely.
But I mean, come on, the thing about that is that when it comes to either one of them people, you just gotta like laugh at them and be like, how the hell can you have these kinds of standards and you yourself are fucked up? Like, come on. Just stop. It's true though, like, you just can't do that. But I don't think it's that simple. Now, Chris says fat people don't desire fat people. That's both ways. And then Big J says, City, those men don't get away when they say that. They don't get away with it. Yeah. But Chris says, but it's okay for Queen Latifah to have Common though. Does Queen Latifah's not with Common? What? Oh,
Not
does
that
he
I
mean
know of, no.
it? Does he mean that it's okay for her to desire Common, but but Common would never, but we attack Common for not wanting Queen Latifah? Is that what he's saying? Oh, the movie. Oh shit, I must have missed that movie. Which movie is that? Oh, is that the one where she was gonna die from cancer or some shit like that? Was Common in that one? The character? I never saw that movie. I only saw I only saw the trailer for that when it came out. I never really looked at that movie. They co-starred, right? I missed that movie, Chris. I didn't know she was his trainer. Oh, huh. Is that Chris? Is that the movie where she was like supposed to be sick or something? She was gonna, her character was supposed to die of cancer, some shit like that. I forgot. Anyway, but delivery shouldn't matter though. No, I do think that delivery matters, Chris. I think that it's one thing for you to say what you don't want or what you prefer. Let me put it that way. It's one thing for you to say what you prefer, and it's another thing when you just want to go on and on and lecture to how people should be, what kind of weight they should be, and shaming them. It's just, And and another thing, I know that a lot of people felt like that Ebony article was shaming black men. I don't. Again, I didn't take it like that. I've been in those kinds of jobs before. I've had those kind of jobs. I was very proud of who I was. And had I have put myself in those shoes and read that article, I knew that that article wasn't talking about me. The point is, he's out of his league, but it's okay for her to desire a fit man. But if Common says, "Fuck Precious," he'd be shamed. Well, you got
Well,
to
I
talk to the
mean,
writers of the damn movie about that. I think like we need to do a part two of this on this, and I think I'm gonna go on ahead and I know I'm gonna piss off my closest friend, my closest YouTube friend, but I think I want to invite Chris on, and we can have this conversation, uh, part two. But I'm gonna have to do that week. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that a little bit in the later part of this month because what I've got lined up, I've still got the Black Women Defense League lined up for this channel to talk to them. And then I believe I'm supposed to talk to Angry Bastards, I think, on here about, we're going to talk about socialism and stuff. So anyway, the thing is that yes, but definitely I'll invite you. I know that I'm gonna piss somebody off. I'm not gonna go there, but I wouldn't mind having you for us to talk about this too, Chris. And we can also get on the whole thing about double standards in relationships, double standards. That'd be great. We'll talk about that. And yeah, and contrary to popular belief out there, I don't mind having a debate at all, and I can have a debate. All right, so I'm gonna go on ahead. We're gonna have to cut this off now. I want to thank Elmciti for this conversation. It was actually a really good one. I mean, not that I'm surprised. All conversations with Elmciti are really good. And I definitely
thanks for
want to
having me.
thank you, and I definitely want to thank Chris and Big J. You know what, Big J, you're invited to that discussion too. I'm kind of tired of
Oh
people.
God.
Not the least. I'm kind of tired of people uh, and I'm not, and I don't want to put Big J on the spot or embarrass him or anything. I really get sick and tired of Big J is like comes to other people's channels and he tries to get in conversations and people cut him off and they don't want him in the conversation. I've had Big J on live maybe two times on Garage Autonomous, and I've had good conversations with him both ways. And I'm really getting sick and
Mm.
tired of the way how people do Big J because he's not stupid, and he's not. I don't know why they don't have the patience. It's kind of ridiculous. Like sometimes dudes that are actually to think like him don't even want him on, and I don't get that. It's just dumb. But anyway, we're definitely going to talk about all this again in the coming weeks. I'm going to send y'all links and emails and set up a definite date. But I still need to get Black Women's Defense League on here, and I really, really need to have them on here. We've just been playing email tag and things just, plans just kept falling through, which is one of the reasons why I didn't do too many episodes of Everyday Revolution last month because I was, we thought we had a date and then things kind of fell off and I had a problem on my end the last time. So thank you, Elmciti. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. And Curious is here in the audience. Thank you, Curious. And thank you, Big J. We'll talk about interracial relationships and gender double standards in the coming weeks. I'll put a link up and an announcement when I get a definite time. Uh, all right. Oh, and one. Okay, I'll read this one thing that BJ says. I'm in the middle of a beef with Obsidian Ali and O'Shea, so I don't. So I don't when it might come back. I don't know. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you. Peace, and we'll see you in the next couple of weeks. Thank you.